Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Skim and you are watching my video on Typhoon Cinema's channel. I am going to be posting a couple videos on here now and then. Hopefully you guys will enjoy. Today's video is going to be all about space, and furthermore space in Minecraft. This is the Galacticraft mod. I do not believe that this is the latest version. I am using it through my Tekkit. Minecraft 1.6 something. I don't know what the Galacticraft which update of Galacticraft this is, but it's got to be close to the top, but probably not quite entirely the most recent. But what I'm going to be doing today is experimenting up here in space a little bit to determine how relatively similar the Galacticraft mod version of space is, or I should say the moon, in comparison to the real moon. And so I'm going to do a couple pretty simple experiments that hopefully will give us an illustration of if these two are in fact similar, or if there are a lot of differences between the real moon and the galactic Minecraft moon. So the first test I'm going to do, as you see here, I've climbed up on a little tower. Yes, you do jump extra high in space. That is very true. On the moon, you would jump considerably higher. I'm not going to go through the math to determine if this is the right jumping height, but I would imagine it's somewhat reasonable. The first test I'm going to be doing is the old feather drop versus a hammer drop. The theory is, and it's been proven, I should say the proven theory, is that in space, everything falls at the same speed. So if you were to drop, say, a feather and a hammer, or a feather and myself, my character, both would reach the ground at the same time. Now, you know that on Earth, if you drop a feather versus a book at the same time from the same height, the book hits the ground first. So, no, of course the feather falls slower. It's lighter. That's not the case. Gravity works on all mass to the same amount. On Earth it is 9.8 meters per second, I believe, is the rate of acceleration. And on the moon, gravity is maybe, I don't know what percentage it would be, but gravity pulls on the mass less, so the acceleration is slower. But the acceleration is still even no matter what object you are dropping. The reason why on Earth that a feather falls slower than a bowling ball or than a book is because the feather has more air resistance to it per its density. So if they are accelerating at the same speed, but the air resistance on the feather is strong enough compared to the feather's weight to keep it up longer. I hope I'm making sense. I am not a very good explainer, but I really wanted to do this for a long time, and so I'm going to record it and share it with you guys and see if you guys find the results as interesting as I hope they are. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be throwing the feather, and then as I throw it, I'm going to be stepping off this platform. Now, if we fall at the same time and touch the ground at nearly the same time, we'll consider that as being true. True as in it represents the real world, the real moon. If the feather falls slower than me and I hit the ground considerably beforehand, we'll know that it is not, in fact, true to the real life. So, here we go. I'm going to throw the feather. I'm going to walk off. We'll see if we can get a good view of this. Feather thrown. I think that was a pretty obvious result, but it did seem that the feather flew up in the air a little bit. And so I'm going to try to compensate for that now. There is, because I'm throwing the feather, yes, that does mean it's going to get some outward momentum, but that does not mean, just because a object is going outwards, unless it's going out and up, if it's going straight out from your body, it's still falling at the same speed as I would be. Gravity works in a downward motion, in a negative downward motion, and the forward momentum works in a positive outward motion. They do not cross each other. They don't affect each other. So I'm going to aim a little bit lower here and throw it. Oops. I did it. And I still hit considerably before the feather. We're going to try this one more time. It's hard to get a view, and I'm actually recording on my laptop right now because my desktop is having some major issues. So I don't have my F5 key to get a different view for you. But we're going to try this one more time. Throw the feather. Drop myself. There's no denying it, guys. The feather fell slower than I did, which means that this is not... the gravity does not work the same way as it would in the actual moon. So next we're going to be lighting a bush on fire. Why are we going to light bush on fire? Because in space, especially in the moon, there is not enough oxygen for fire to continue to burn. Fire needs oxygen, in fact, in order to burn. So theoretically, I place the fire down and nothing happens. Or it doesn't light on fire in the first place, so it'd actually be the case. But we're going to try to light it and see what happens here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Can't light it. Alright, there you go. That's a positive result then. The moon does in fact represent the real life, the galactic Minecraft moon, I should say. It does represent the real moon. There's no lighting that baby up. Alright, now we're going to test another gravity theory here. I'm going to be throwing these snowballs up into the air at different heights, and I'm going to see how long it takes for them to fall. That didn't seem to be slow at all. That seemed a little bit better. And what I'm trying to see here is I'm trying to see if I can actually launch one into orbit. These appear to be falling at a relatively consistently fast speed. I'm gonna have to call this one by judgment. I don't really have any positive way of measuring this, but let me know what you guys think. It does appear to me that the moon's gravity is affecting. I should say it like this. We have Earth's gravity. It seems to me like the snowballs are experiencing Earth force gravity. They're not going extremely high. They're not going up into space, which I was secretly hoping for. They're falling at a pretty much similar rate to what I would expect on the Minecraft Earth. They're not getting any additional momentum. I don't know, it's hard to call. Why don't you guys give me your opinion as well in the video, and then I have only one more test, and let's see how this one goes. This is going to be the explosion test. Something you may or may not know, you can have explosions, chemical explosions in space, such as TNT, anything like that, because what's actually happening here is the TNT has a oxidizing agent inside it along with the explosive. I don't know if it's gunpowder that they use. I don't know what really is used in TNT, but there is an oxidizing agent because without one, you would not be able to get enough oxygen to the material that is burning, to the gunpowder or whatever is in the TNT, to make it burn fast enough with enough energy to be explosive. That's how explosives work. They burn really, really fast, and in order to burn that fast, you need to give them a lot of oxygen really quickly. So they always have oxidizing agents inside them. So if this is representative of the real moon, what we should see is an explosion will occur, and the smoke won't linger, it won't puff up, but Minecraft doesn't do that anyway, even in the regular Earth. But what we will see, if it's true to the moon, is we will see debris flying off. All the little blocks will be flying off and hopefully out of the place and out of orbit. Alright, you guys ready? Good. Here we go. Let's see what kind of explosions we get. We did get an explosion. The blocks fell back down at a moon-like speed. However, oops, that's creative mode for you. Yes, I am in creative mode. I spawn all this stuff in. I'm George Washington. I do not tell lies. Apparently, he didn't chop down the cherry tree. Anyway, that's a story. What we didn't see, however, was the debris being blasted miles and miles and miles into, or maybe even out of the moon's orbit. So we created a nice hole. Like I said, that would be realistic. You would, in fact, have an explosion of the same kind of proportion. But you know what? I wasn't actually paying attention to this, but this is another thing. And I believe we already know the answer to this one. In space, or even on the moon, there is some air trapped on the moon by the moon's gravity, but is not nearly accountable to anything such as wind or sound waves being able to be passed. And since there's not enough air being held in by the moon's gravity to allow for sound waves to pass through them, when we blow up the TNT, it should be silent. So every single, or probably every single space movie you've ever watched that had sound in it, sound explosions, is wrong in some way or another. The explosions, yes. No fire, though. There's not enough. We already proved that. There's not enough oxygen. Oops, sorry. There's not enough oxygen to have a fire on the moon. But there would also be no sound. It would be a very quiet movie. So no wonder why they put sound in it. But let's check for the sound here. Make sure everyone's listening. Well, I heard this. Nope. That is not a real moon-like quality. So where we're standing here right now is the moon's gravity does seem to act correctly on some objects. It does make objects fall slower. However, it still has air resistance, which is incorrect. As we proved, the feather falls slower than I do. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. It shouldn't. It shouldn't fall slower. It should be falling at the same speed. We should hit the ground at approximately the same time. Of course, I can't control the dropping as well as I could if I had two separate objects and I dropped them at the same time, but it's a pretty close relative example. And we tested the fire. There is no fire in space. Now, in space, you wouldn't even be able to get a spark enough to light this, but still, the point was made. You can't have fire in space. Very good job. That is relative to the actual moon. And then we got to propelling things. Gravities act on objects being thrown. I'm under the impression that they are falling at an Earth-like speed. A Minecraft Earth-like speed. It's hard to tell, though. I'm certainly not seeing any orbit, which is what I was hoping for. I wanted to see some things go into orbit. Maybe it's having an effect, but it's really hard to tell. You guys can tell me what you guys think in the comments below. And then, of course, we tested the explosion, and as we happily found out, they do work, which is very true to what would happen on the real moon. However, they do not throw the debris around like crazy, which they should, and they also make sounds, which they should not. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you guys found this entertaining. I've certainly found this enlightening. I've learned a lot about Minecraft's moon, and I hope you guys have too. Please feel free to check out my channel. I do a lot of Minecraft videos, as like how-tos, spotlights, interesting little things like this, Minecraft seeds, playthroughs, the whole thing, as well as a couple other games that you guys might be interested. So check me out. Check me out, and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that good fun stuff. And thank you very much. Peace out.